at the present, right?
Guess who we've got on the show?
How you doing?
Oh, welcome, Jamie.
How you doing,
thanks.
boys?
It's
Oh, you didn't mean me.
yeah. Welcome, JP. I think we should do an introduction today because I think it's important that people understand that we are not going to run long today. We're going to finish in about an hour and 25 minutes because we've kind of because we'll try to finish before an hour and a half because you do a premiere at 11 o'clock every Sunday evening.
Yes, I do. Yeah, every Sunday. I've been doing it for a good couple of years now, and every single week, and I've not missed one yet. So
yeah,
if
quite a
ever
few years
you're gonna
because you were
set a
doing
trend.
that. Because we've been going now. This is episode 59, which means that Makers International finished about 61 weeks ago.
Yeah, I think we finished 2 weeks before you started, maybe.
Yeah, I was getting withdrawal symptoms.
Yeah.
I
Didn't even let the seat go cold.
Yeah, I got severe withdrawal symptoms of what to do on a Sunday evening. Yeah, talking to my family that 1 week, talking to my family on a Sunday night. Was an absolute pleasure, of course. Just in case they're listening, but missing my more importantly, missing my friends and the kind of the community that had built up on a Sunday evening.
Yeah, we had a few people come over there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying just before we started recording, it was 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. 5 years in total, which is funny because it was 5 original members that started it as well.
Yeah. Which is. I think I can only think of making it.
So there was
Bob and
Reclaimed Audio was another one.
They didn't do 5 years, did they? Did they?
I don't know. I don't know if they did 5 years. I think they may have done it just shy, potentially.
Yeah, because I think they possibly started after you guys did, and they finished.
No, I think they started before us.
Okay,
they started before us, and they finished just before us as well.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a bit of a hiatus as well, though, at one point? I think.
Could have done. Actually, I'm looking at their sticker right now, to be honest.
Maybe I can't remember. I didn't listen to them from the start. Because I played catch up when I first started listening to them. So I remember playing catch up. I can't remember how far in I was. It was definitely double digits, but I'm not sure if it was a kind of a year or.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how far. I can't remember how far I got into either, to be honest.
And I had to play catch up on some of the Makers International episodes as well. I think it was. Trying to think when I first started watching on a Sunday evening. It was fairly. I think it's probably about 30. I think you've been going for about 6 months.
Right.
Because I seem to remember I did have to listen to a few kind of MP3 player.
Yeah.
To my podcast back then because my phone couldn't handle it. Because I remember I definitely remember kind of having to listen to because you had Nicola. I forgot their name now. Butcher. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
That one.
Yeah, she was an award-winning carpenter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We actually had her on a couple of times. One before she won her award, and actually I think it was kind of she had just won it, and then we had her on I think the year after as well.
Yeah, because she'd settled into kind of it was kind of she'd had the award. She'd settled into kind of business for herself then as well.
That's it. Yeah. So every now and again I still message her and see how she's getting on, but yeah. So
still butchering wood.
As far as I know, yeah, she's supposed to post. She posts a lot of gym stuff at the moment. Makes me sweat a bit. So, yeah.
Oh, Jim! I thought you said gin.
No, Jim. Jim.
Yeah, no.
I mean, both will make you sweat with enough of it.
Not working out.
Easy
No.
mistake to make. Yeah. Do you fancy
Yeah.
going for the gym? Yeah, and it's like,
A gin.
yeah, why have you brought
Yeah,
trainers?
I'd rather go for a gin than a gym. Oh dear.
Maybe there's a market for a gym that serves gin when you finished your gym.
Just run
I
by
guess you
people called
could always
Jim.
put them little cans of gin inside them little machines that go inside the gym. That's what always stops me right at the entrance of the gym. Them little candy machines. Well, these machines are much better.
There was a Total Fitness brand gym in Altrincham, up in sort of near Manchester, and the whole gym, it was the road was on a slope, so where they built the gym flat, there was like essentially like a basement, but it was sat under the gym. There was a KFC. So, because you had all these people who'd just done their big workout, really, really hungry, all on like, lean food, and then step out, and the first thing they smelled is KFC, and they just all turned left and walked straight in.
So
undo all the work they've just done.
Believe it or not, I actually signed up to go to a gym many, many, many years ago, and I actually found out they had a swimming pool because it leaked. Right now, whoever designed this is there needs something wrong. They needed a checkup, right? So the actual gym, right, was put below, and they built the swimming pool on top, right? And the swimming pool leaked into the gym, so they had to close the gym for a while. So we got a refund on our membership while they repaired it.
Oh my word!
And I was like, I didn't even know you had a swimming pool.
Well, they probably thought, well, weights are heavy. We'll put them under the water. That's not that heavy, surely.
Yeah, is what it is. But needless to say, I think I went a couple more times and never went back after that. Why improve on perfection? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying nothing, mate.
Yeah, I know. Beard. Name's Jamie. Can't get better than that.
It's a Jamie thing, isn't it?
Magnificent beards. Yeah, I feel inadequate with my very grey, very short beard.
It's a Jamie thing, Andy. You wouldn't understand. Oh dear.
Well, the only other Jamie in the maker community doesn't have a beard at all, does he?
I can't help that.
Is he even allowed? I mean, he's young.
True.
He is young.
Are you trying to suggest
He'll
that?
get there.
I mean...
He'll get there. He's just going to say we're old.
Hey.
I do look in the mirror, and then all of a sudden you get this just great big long grey hair just come out, and I'm thinking, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah, I'm going to keep my hand over my beard here just to try and keep it looking consistent colour.
Also, an hour later, also another one comes out after I've plucked that. So it's like that. What's that scene with Evan Almighty? You know, when he shaves off, and all of a sudden it comes back.
I shaved this morning.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's that 5 o'clock shadow, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's the one good thing now I can say. At least my beard is consistently one colour.
Yeah,
it's grey, but yeah, it's consistently grey.
Yeah,
just to kind
distinguished.
Of yeah,
I
silver.
want to grow it long enough one day to and then I want to dye it silver, just for Santa Claus effect.
I love the old the Bill Bailey thing where he goes to say something. You're like, oh, what I'd like to do now, talking about the rest of the show that he wants to do, and he goes, "But you know what I'd really like to do now is grow my beard really long and then plait it into my pubes."
Oh, that's interesting. No.
It has been suggested that I plait mine into my chest hair before, but I've not quite got around to it.
That'd work.
You wouldn't be able to look up though, would you?
No.
You're like, unless you kind of allowed enough. Depends how long your chest hair is, I suppose, isn't it? Yeah.
It'd be like the equivalent of a facelift, wouldn't it? You just 6-pack.
God, with the size of my belly, I'd be more worried about it pulling my chin off.
Yeah, why the long face? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my word!
I mean, it's nice to see that we're 10 minutes in and we've gone completely off the rails.
Off the rails. It kind of happens with me. I must apologise.
Yeah, my face is hurting already. Yeah.
On that note, I'm going to take some coffee. Try and calm myself down.
Was it decaf?
You must be joking. Probably Saturday morning.
Swear at us.
Now, one of the things, I mean, we've mentioned briefly that kind of Makers International. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you guys paved the way for Makers Waffle. We took your slot, basically.
Basically, yeah.
Not apologising for that. Yeah,
you took a slot that wasn't. You took a slot that wasn't there.
And yeah,
I mean, you was welcome to it. You know, YouTube's an open source, so you had every right to do just as us.
Yeah.
So we've got no regrets to letting you have it.
Well, I think you guys paved the way for kind of those sort of almost freer conversations that some Maker podcasts just don't have. But I think there are now. I mean, there's been certainly since the lockdown, the number of podcasts has increased massively, and I think there's more that kind of follow the same sort of style. You've got 2, 3, 4 people who kind of just spend a lot of the time just having conversations about what they've been up to, and kind of sort of building those sort of relationships, and not necessarily going down the guest line. We kind of merge the two by kind of having a guest most weeks, but then just having conversations about what we've been up to rather than kind of interview style. But
one of the things I must admit I do like with what you guys have done so far is you'll get, say, 4 or 5 guests on, and then you'll have the guests that you've had on previously into one and have like a group chat. I did like that. We did that a couple of times.
Yeah, we like having that kind of and just hitting something. I mean, most of the time we are literally just waffling. I mean, it's waffle by name, waffle by nature. We're literally just having a chat. We're killing time. We're just having a chat amongst friends. We're pubbing. But then having those kind of every 10, we have those kind of sort of deeper conversations, or just have a group of people in. It's like next week we've got a group coming in. We haven't got a topic as such, but when we do have the topics,
I don't think you necessarily need a topic.
No,
I often found with our analytics, or when we were looking, some of our best episodes were when we were winging it.
Yeah.
Didn't know what we were going to talk about. Like sometimes we knew a day or 2 before of what we were going to talk about, and that was we're just going to wing it. And we literally started the show winging it.
Well, that's us. I mean, half the time, Andy's had a pre-chat with the guests to sort of work out, things they might want to talk about or anything. And I sort of turn up at 9:15 and go, what am I doing? So I'm winging it every week.
Yeah, there you go. And so far we've spoken about beards being sewn into chests.
You're welcome, audience.
If you've got a ponytail, you can tie it into the back. That's what you got to worry.
Yeah.
Weave it into your back hair.
Not saying anything. My head hair isn't long enough. But I do need a haircut. I might get a haircut this week.
Yeah. I'm trying to think how many guests, how many hosts we had. So we started with 5, which was me, Joe, Chris, Richard, and Alan. Alan left, Joe left. Then we ended up with Steve, and I think Steve left, and then we got might have been Jason, and then Jason left, and we got Steve, or the other way around.
Jason first, yeah,
Jason first, and then we got Steve, and then Steve went. Then we got Dale and Jake, and that's when we decided to. Oh no, Richard left. And then after that, then we got Jake and Dale, and then so we decided enough's enough. Yeah, so that's when you guys started your road.
Yeah.
I think it was about 20 minutes after your announcement, Andy got in touch with me going,
have you seen this?
What am I going to do on a Sunday night?
Jamie,
got an
help
idea.
me.
Help! But it was. I really enjoyed Makes International. I loved the sort of community side of things that developed in the chat. I mean, I think sometimes there was sort of sometimes, occasionally, not often, but occasionally, there was more going on in the chat.
Yeah.
And the kind of conversation was like, right, I better listen to the actual podcast on Wednesday when it comes out, just to kind of find out what I missed, because the chat was just going wild with kind of whatever.
Yeah. It was funky from that because I used to be one of the ones that I used to be one of, if not the one, that kept up with the chat. And if there was something to be read out, then I would obviously read it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chat was out of control sometimes. Having their own little chat podcast while we were talking. Like, hello, we're here.
We've had that a few times, especially on like the group chats where there's been usually anytime Steve is either in the window or in the chat, it just ends up being carnage in one or both.
Yeah, or Berkey. Yeah.
Yeah, or Berkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to go back and review the chat the following morning a couple of times, see what I missed. Try and keep up, but it's not always possible. It's got a good conversation going.
Yeah,
I mean
the channel's still there as well. If people miss it or want to go back and watch it, we haven't taken the channel down, or it's still there for you to go and watch.
Yeah, people should. I'll make sure the link goes in. Yeah.
So, I actually what I do want to quickly mention as well, in case anyone watches it and didn't listen or hasn't noticed it. I did actually put a post out on the podcast Facebook page a little while ago that we were doing a charity make a blanket thing that a cat from Piffy Noodle made. So we ended up raising about £250 with that. So the winner of the blanket was Huey Lionheart. And when we got to Make Essential, we got a picture taken with the blind guide dogs UK, but they wouldn't let me give a £250 donation straight to them. So instead of that, I've sponsored a dog for 2 years.
Oh, fantastic!
So I'm paying £10 a month. So there we go. So we've got it all sort of paid out and all that good stuff. So it took a couple of years because of COVID to actually get that money, but they ended up getting that money. So that's the main thing.
Good. I mean, COVID's messed a lot of things up.
Yeah, it was a shame, but I was lucky. I was fortunate that I was still going to go to Make Essential. That would have made things a bit more complicated.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, would indeed. But yeah, Kat did a great job on
that. Meat Autumn says blind guide dogs. That's rough. I mean, the guide dogs. That'd be hard if they were blind as well.
Smaller dogs on leads attached to their collars.
They did have that's for smaller guide dogs. I messed up my words there, didn't I?
Guide dogs to the guide dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guide dog square.
Yeah.
So one for getting the direction, and the other one to be strong enough to kind of sort of guide the blind person.
That's it.
Or we're just talking about just dogs for dogs. I did see
one just for fun.
I did see need like a guide mouse just driving the first dog by the ears, like Ratatouille style.
I saw a Instagram reel last year sometime. And I'm sure it's a video that I've seen before elsewhere, and it was a blind golden retriever. I'm pretty sure it was golden retriever, and it had it's I can't remember if it was a sister or whether it was a related dog, or even if it was just a different breed. But essentially, it had its best friend family dog would basically just guide it round, would bring it stuff, would show it to places, would push it around in kind of sort of a guiding way. It
was a guide dog for a guide dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, guide dog for a dog, brother. Yeah, it's a really, really cute video, that one.
but it's yeah.
Maybe I didn't sound so stupid after all.
I don't think there is such a thing as stupid on Maker's Waffle.
No,
It's just another opportunity for a tangent to go down, I think.
yeah,
There you go.
exactly. We love tangents. And talking of tangents, one of the reasons we wanted to get you on this week. Next week would have been better, but next week's a group one, which we'd already sort of had booked in. Because we haven't had you on before, but we should perhaps really have had you on before, because it just hasn't quite worked out. It's because the week after next, so 13 days' time, is the next virtual crafty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which has been going now for over a year?
Oh, well, yeah, well over a year, yeah. So if you want the backstory behind that, I can give you a quick rundown.
Yeah, we do.
Go for it, yeah.
So that started off with, it was Arbortech that originally done it. A big live show where everyone was doing live shows on their own channels, and then Easy Wood Tools did one. And I got to be part of that alongside Carl. And
Carl
me
Jacobson,
and
for those that aren't
Carl
familiar.
Jacobson, yeah, you go with Robin. And me and Carl and Robin hang out quite a lot. And every time we go into the hangout, the subject of us starting one of these to promote other channels and kind of this stuff kept coming up. And one day I got into hangout and it came up again, and I was like, you know what, we should stop talking about it and actually do it. And the day afterwards, we hung out and we started coming up, right, okay, names. How should we do it? And the foundation started getting laid and blah blah blah, and there you go. So what the Virtual Craft Festival is it's 16 hours, 16 makers. You make whatever you want. Each maker gets an hour, and it starts usually at 10 o'clock in the morning on my channel. Goes for, like I say, 16 hours, and ends with Carl over in the States. And it's different makers and creators from around the world. We've had wood turning, scroll sawing, carving, glass blowing, leather working, lasers, CNCs, metal work. I think I said metal working. I don't know. I haven't had 3D printing yet though, Jamie.
Benchy in an hour. Just set the camera up on the printer and let it run.
Yeah. So we even had Dandles just talking about different kinds of wood species and all that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you, that was actually a really big hit. A lot of people like that.
You've had some kind of ones that are not quite people making, where James from Molten Lake.
James from Molten Lake
went through like 13 of his favorite
another
tools.
really big. James is actually a really big hit as well. A lot of people like James. I think a lot of American ladies like him for his accent, to be honest with you. But yeah, a lot of people like James. He presents himself really well. Al is definitely a massive fan favorite because no one knows what he does.
Yeah,
you know, it's when we advertise Al, it's like Al's here doing our stuff. You know, you don't know what he's gonna do. It's exactly the same. Al's like an English Berkey. You know. You never know what's gonna come out of their mouths to start off with, or out of their heads. You know. And then so everyone gets an hour, and you just literally make whatever you want. If sometimes you need to do a Blue Peter piece, which is I've found more recently is not a phrase you should use in front of Americans. I'm not going to say why. It's a family show. But yeah, it's a here's one I made. If you need to do a here's one I made earlier piece, then if you need to do that, then you can do that. But yeah, it's some good stuff.
You've had some fantastic variety. I mean, you've had the last couple. You've had a cosplayer kind of doing stuff.
Yeah, Kenny cosplay. Yeah, we've had Ellen as well. Ellen's been doing some good stuff. I had pottery from Heidi.
Heidi as well. Yeah.
She's done some good stuff. We've actually had Nicole as well. She did some. Nicole Duke. She did some pottery once.
Yeah, she's making some really nice stuff.
Yeah, she does some good stuff. So yeah, that's kind of the backstory. between
It's a
that.
really diverse group, isn't it? It's like you say, it's covering
Yeah.
so many different things. There's always something
Yeah.
for everyone to dip into.
Yeah. So this time we've got a couple of new people coming on. We try and do that every year because a couple of times it's kind of reverted back to the Woodturners Festival, and I was like, I don't want it to be the Woodturners Festival.
Mm.
You know, I want it to be as many different varieties of people as we possibly can, or a
I think
variety
the
of
Woodturners,
mediums. Sorry.
quite a few of the
Yeah.
Woodturners that you've had on are regular live.
Yeah. So people
Yeah,
like Wayne and
they used to kind of
yeah,
going live weekly, and
yeah.
it's natural for them.
Yeah. So ideally, it's if there are people who already do lives, and want to be on the craft festival, it don't matter what you do, just get in contact with me. You know, if you feel up to it, and if you feel a bit like I don't know if I can, even if you've never been live before, reach out to me if you want to fancy giving it a go. I can always talk you through it and
Yeah,
how to
it's
do
not.
it.
I mean, I've done a few lives. It's not actually that bad. It's. I mean, we do live every week.
I was going to say we're
Yeah.
doing one now, yeah.
But I've done a few lives, kind of, on my sort of making channel, and yeah, it's yeah.
I think the biggest struggle is
right.
limiting it to an hour, though, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, I'm not good at that.
Is that a dig?
Compliment, I take it as. Yeah.
Yeah.
Endurance.
Endurance. There you go.
Stamina.
Yeah.
Stamina improves with age, they say.
I should hope so.
That's because you can't move fast.
Because I'm feeling really tired.
Yeah, it's because it takes age. It takes longer to get going. Yeah, that's my.
Yeah. Wow.
So who have you got new this?
So new this time we've got a guy called Jacob from Jacked Up Leatherworks. We've more recently over the past couple of weeks we've got a guy called Joey from Steelblade Woodworks. He's been doing some laser work and leather work. He's coming back. He's someone really fantastic to watch out for. He's actually just finished his CNC build as well. So he's going to be starting some other stuff on his channel as well now as well. So
Cool.
he's a good person to come and watch out for. Very active on Instagram and all that kind of stuff. Who else have we got? We have got. I can't remember. I've got my notes all inside. Oh, we've got Sarah Connor from Wartooth Designs.
Ooh.
She's going to be on. She's very happy about coming on, so that's going to be a good one. So she does very quirky art.
Yes.
Like makes characters out of potatoes and all that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Yes.
Good people with Sarah.
Cacti. Yes. Yeah, I'm familiar with her work. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we've got Sarah on. Been a friend with Sarah a long time. So yeah. So it's going to be a good show, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds
good. We'll look out for that and try and remember to promote it again next week.
Yeah, so it's the 23rd. Everybody,
yep.
I keep telling everybody it's the 24th.
Yeah, because it's Saturday
the 23rd.
Yeah.
And it starts at 10 a.m. on my channel, UK time.
And then finishes. What's that going to be then? Finish
that'll
it.
Be about 1 o'clock,
I
think. Yeah, 1. Yeah. Finish at 2 o'clock, but Carl starts at 1, I think. So yeah, it's Oregon. Carl's in Oregon, so. But it's still 1 o'clock. He starts UK.
And again, I think it's that kind of community thing as well, because you kind of, I mean, more often than not, I find I'm just dipping into kind of particular ones when I get chance doing other stuff. And sometimes I go back and kind of watch some of them, but it's interesting kind of when you you sit down to watch one and. Yeah, there's the chat is going as well, and then you cycle over to the next one, and the same people start appearing, and then you cycle over to the next one, and the same people start appearing, and kind of before you know it, you've been hanging out with a bunch of friends for 3 or 4 hours.
That's it. Yeah. So basically, how it goes is you do your live stream, and as soon as it ends, you pass it on to the next one, and hopefully that person will gain one or two, if not a lot more of your followers, and then followers will think, oh, well, I like that one, and then they'll subscribe, and then it's just an effect that will just keep going all the way through.
Have you had any feedback from kind of people who've been on? Sort of
and a
saying,
few
"Oh, I've
people,
had
and a few messages saying, like, oh, can I suggest this person? This I'd like to see this, or when's this person coming back on, or this person's great, and all this kind of stuff. So, and suggesting different ideas of how we could mix it up. Like, for example, Franco's idea of, so it was Franco and Al had like a cook-off.
yeah,
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah,
that
one.
that was Franco's idea. So all of a sudden we had Jake versus Zach doing the resins. That's Jake Thompson and Zach Higgins doing the like a resin off of a better word. You know, so we're going to get a couple of forgers in there soon. So
Nice.
see if we can do something. I'm going to see if I can arrange the tools guys to go again head to heads with each other. If we can get them
Ooh.
all at free all at the same time.
Well, at least Steve versus Brett. I mean, yeah,
That'd be good.
they're
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd be
they're
good.
both blacksmiths.
We can even get Al to judge it.
Yeah,
Yeah, if we can work it, that'd be good. We can give him a 2-hour special, 2-hour slot.
ooh,
So
that'd be good.
So yeah,
That'd be very good.
I think that'd be pretty
Yeah,
good. Yeah. So
well, I like the sound of that.
if we can get all three of them free at some point, maybe we can get everyone, all the guys in the Fools with Tools group to badger them a bit.
You could do the full dinner set, couldn't you? You get like Brett making a knife, Steve making a fork, get Dandles turning a plate, and then Al making the food to go on it.
There you go.
Andy can carve a spoon ready for the.
I'm just wondering how the plates and the forks get to Al.
Well, they wouldn't. You just have to Blue Peter it, wouldn't you?
Imagine it. Yeah.
Imagine it. Yeah. Have to make one a week beforehand or a month beforehand. But we never know what the shipping's like.
Oh, from the States, awful. Yeah.
Yeah. Mind you, saying that, I've got something in about a week's time from the States. I don't know how they managed that, but it happened. So.
I think it's almost like potluck, isn't it?
Mm.
Oh yeah, big time.
It's one of the things we found with the Fools with Tools treasure trade last year. It was just like people were telling us they could provide a receipt saying kind of I posted it. Yeah. It's gone. And it's like 3 weeks later, you're still kind of it's not arrived.
There's a video on YouTube, and for the life of me, I can't remember who it was. But this guy sent 3 of his Apple tracker devices. I can't remember what they're called. Not tiles, but something very similar to the tiles.
Mm.
And he sent them to 3 different places. One was to the Tesla dude. I forgot what his name is now.
Elon Musk.
He sent it to Elon Musk to the space launch pad. Sent it there. And he sent another one to North Korea. And was it North Korea? No, South Korea. He sent it. Sorry, and he sent the other one. I think he just sent it to Germany, but it was a guy in America that done it. Well, the one in South Korea went to North Korea. But the Tesla one eventually turned up, but got sent back with a letter, basically saying, we can't pass this on. We don't know what's inside this little device, basically. And the Germany one turned up at its intended destination, but the one from Korea stayed. They all stayed in a certain shipping area, like for ages, months. And he was like, "Where's my package?" And because of course he could track it. And they were like, "Oh, we're investigating it. We're investigating it. And we've lost it, and blah blah blah." And he goes, "It's like it's in your hub."
Yeah.
How can you say you've lost it?
Well, John D. Harvey made a brooch for my wife, and he posted it in November, and it went from where he is then went to 2 different places in New York.
He's East Coast US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it went to 2 different places in New York, and then went to Japan, and then went to South Korea, and then stayed in South Korea. And then it arrived 3 or 4 months later on my door. And he went back in because he checked the tracking initially when it was, and he tracked it, following it around the world, and ended up in South Korea. And then when he went back in to track, once he found it had arrived, for some bizarre reason, the tracking only started a handful of days earlier. And they'd just gone back through and just wiped out all the previous tracking information and said, "Oh yeah, we found it in our hub from here," and then we just sent it across. But apparently, a lot of these things, they just get loaded into cages, and then they just sit, like in, like if it's gone to the wrong address, they just sit in cages and just keep piling up until they've got a full cage to load back on and send back to destination.
Yeah, I think because one of the things that this guy was saying was, I think if it's not an expensive item, and you put in a request and turn around and say, "Where's my thing? Like, give me a refund" or something like that, then that's easier for them to just give you a refund of $5-10 and just destroy the item or sell it at them Amazon packages, like them great shipping containers of items that's lost and found or whatever, than to actually send on the item. If they offer you a refund, say, "No, I don't want a refund. I want you to find my package."
Yeah.
No matter how much it costs.
It's
Especially if it's like a
kind of
one-of-a-kind
crafty.
item as well.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Especially when you're in our kind of, I won't say business, but if I mean, I seen something. Go on.
Because I had a battle with Royal Mail years ago with that. We'd made we'd done a bespoke mouse, computer mouse, and that was sent across to make down south, and it just never arrived. And it took sort of 2.5-3 months to get a refund out of Royal Mail, because it was all tracked and insured and everything, and it just still didn't arrive. So claiming back through, they basically said, "Oh, you've got to prove to us how much it cost." Like, well, we made it. This is how much it cost. This is how much we would be selling it for. So that's the value of the item. It's back and forth with the letters, and then they finally paid the amount to cover the cost. And then again, it was probably 6 weeks after all that. I got a text from my mate just saying, "Oh, you never guess what's just arrived." It's just pristine, immaculate. It obviously just fallen down the back of something, and then someone's like moved a cabinet out the way and gone, "Oh yeah, we still haven't posted that." It's just months later.
And then adding, there was a case when I lived in Plymouth. There was a case in the local paper of a male person who had deliberately not posted something like it was tens, maybe even hundreds of thousands of items. Yeah, they were literally kind of doing their round and just literally going home and dumping their stuff out and never delivering it.
There was there's a situation in the States where some guy was throwing stuff down a ditch. They found that this said ditch, and there was loads of packages out there, and it was almost like a fly tipping. This ditch was almost full.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, don't do the job. If you don't want to deliver,
walk a little bit.
Yeah.
And even when they do actually deliver it, some of them are just complete. I'm not going to say it. They're not very nice people. They I had a Dremel. I bought a Dremel and it turned up, and they just threw it over the side gate because I weren't in.
Yeah. At least it was Dremel, not a laptop or something, or camera.
Yeah.
That's quite common though of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We've had it with stuff delivered to work where just seeing the guys pushing the boxes out the back of the van. It's got Dell written on the side of it, and it's very clearly a screen or something, and they're just like pushing the box out the back. It's just they're just paid by the parcel, aren't they?
Do you know what? You doing that, and I just see Scott in the chat. I'm thinking I can't wait till paramedics start doing that.
Open the doors and set the release cache code.
Open the door. Go on, here he is. here's your delivery.
That's like something from a Carry On film. Yeah.
Yeah, just very
Frank
quickly
Spencer.
reverse up to the doors so that they open up and the patient gets kicked out the back.
That's
Straight
definitely in
into
a
the
Carry On
double doors.
film. That is definitely in a Carry On film.
I could just
Yeah.
imagine Frank Spencer chasing it down the road.
I hated Frank Spencer as a kid. I really did.
You can still hate him as an adult if you want.
I
can
would
do,
never
yeah.
watch it as an adult, but as a kid, I couldn't watch it. Really couldn't. It was for me one of the worst things about sort of 70s, early 80s TV. Yeah, no, I hated watching it.
A little bit beyond dated now, I think, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. It's one of their tags. Just a bit of a PSA, actually. A mutual friend of Jamie and I posted something on a Discord server a few days ago. Last week, actually, might be almost now. A lass and her family in Disney World in the States were kind of just going about their day, and they discovered almost by accident that someone had slipped a Apple AirTag into the girl's bag and had basically been tracking her all day, looking for kind of opportunity for perhaps when she would be on her own, whatever. They found it when they were in the sort of car park, and then kind of basically just luckily it fell out of the bag in the car park. But it's just it's just something. I mean, as
crazy.
a parent of two girls, I'm just like, it's like, yeah. I mean, you can get he also posted there's an app, and I can't remember the name of the app, which will basically let you sort of almost check to see whether you've got any AirTags near you or other sort of trackers. Even if you're on Android, you can see if there's Apple ones or vice versa. So you can actually sort of see whether there's something kind of active.
Yeah, it'll just sweep locally to see if there's any of those tags. Yeah.
So just I mean,
it's scary out there at the moment. It's like
it is.
When we were kids, it used to be outside. We'd come in at 8 o'clock, leave the doors open.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't do that
now. I kind of, I mean, my eldest now, an adult is go out to pubs, clubs, whatever, and you hear stories about kind of not just people sort of slipping kind of things into people's drinks, which is bad enough. But now there's this whole thing of sticking needles into people. When you're in a club or something, just stick a needle in and don't bother trying to get something into your drink. Just wait for you to stop.
Yeah. Silly.
It's crazy times.
It is. There are some nasty people.
Stay safe, folks.
Yes. Yeah. Stay safe. And educate your adult children and your almost adult children about the fact that there are some not great people out there, and there are simple things that one can do to mitigate these things. Not that one should have to, but unfortunately, we do live in a world with horrible people.
A PSA for call out your bloke friends who are that way of being. If you spot that kind of behaviour with your mates, call them out about it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. You can't be quiet about some stuff.
Definitely not.
No.
Yeah, it's important to sort of stand up and kind of sort of call these things out. Yeah, in whatever form.
Yeah.
We should probably change the subject though. It's gone a bit.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
got a bit of a roast.
It's a good PSA, but yeah.
I just got the whole sort of tag thing kind of. It's perfect for tagging.
In your head, though. Yeah.
It's something I've kind of. There's almost. I think there's a market. Although it's got the sort of thing you have to be careful of. I mean, one of the big problems for people in the trades in the UK is things like theft of tools from vans.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's almost a market for kind of either the tool manufacturers building in tags to the tools, or people kind of finding a way, almost like you almost want something you can sort of stick onto the battery or stick onto the tool itself, so you can almost track your tools. I mean, to be
There has
honest,
been a
if
little
they could
bit
make
of
it small
talk
enough to fit on a
about
10mm socket, that'd be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just need those,
I say it's-
the retractable things you get for like keys and name tags and things. Just put one of those onto all your 10mm sockets and 10mm spanners.
Yeah, just don't use it with an impact driver if you're going to do that, though.
It's amazing how many times you go to boot fairs and you see all these nothing but a load of power tools just lined up. And you're thinking, oh yeah, where are you getting them from?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you see
There's,
that they're kind of it's a bunch of old tools, sort of NiCad batteries. And you kind of think, that's legit. But when you start seeing a bunch of kind of current generation or previous generation DeWalt and Makitas lying around.
One thing I do find quite funny is when someone's got like some hand planes or something like that, and some poor lady's obviously been told that's worth a lot of money, and you look at it and think, sorry to tell you this, but it's not. It's not worth the £150 you've got price tagged on it. You know, it's like a little Wilkinson's block plane. Do you know what I mean?
£4 brand new, yeah.
Exactly.
There's one on the Nextdoor app. There was somebody advertised a couple of months ago, kind of a bunch of tools, and it was things like it was the whitish performance power B&Q special sort of jigsaw, and it was clearly well used. Yeah, it wasn't wrecked, but it was clearly well used. And yeah, well, the white performance power stuff's been gone for a considerable amount of time. And I'm sure that she was asking the original kind of purchase price
RRP for it.
And you just think, I can go to B&Q and buy the new equivalent, whatever their budget sort of tools are now, for less than you're asking for this well-used jigsaw.
You quite often see the same thing with like Lidl and Aldi stuff, the Parkside and Ferrex stuff. It'll be up on eBay, something that was £30 when it was in the middle of Lidl, and then it's now listed at the same price as the Makita and the DeWalt equivalent. It's always good fun. But I'm talking to the AirTags and stuff before. There's a Tom Scott video on his second channel where they were testing those AirTags with to see if he could evade capture. With someone tracking him on the app across London, and he had like a list of things that he needed to do, places to go and stuff like that. It was 2 teams of 2, and he was trying to do all the things like going down in the subway or hiding in areas where it wouldn't get signal and things like that. So that was quite an interesting insight into the technology or the scope of it.
So that one he was basically running across London.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one? Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Especially because he's not actually a particularly fit guy.
There must be something you can do to evade capture.
Yeah, it was also like going in the subway and things. It cuts the signal off and all that kind of stuff, yeah. They had like a load of specific rules, that you could only use one thing once and all that kind of stuff. So
you could go on a bus once, you go on a tube once, only a taxi once, stuff like that. Yeah, he did a good job. There's been a couple of TV programs like that, haven't there, where they kind of get ex Secret Service people and kind of go, right, we're going to chase celebrities or members of the public and see how far you can get.
Yeah, it was that Ant Middleton did one as well, didn't he? Something very similar.
Yeah, and there was one years ago with Chris Ryan, who was one of the he was the only one who didn't get captured or killed from the Bravo 20 SAS mission from the first Gulf. What was that war? Was that one classed as a war? The first Gulf War? But yeah, Gulf One. Back in kind of what was that? 90, 91?
92 was it 90? Yeah, around that time. 90s was Gulf. Yeah.
Yeah,
91 maybe.
Yeah, I'm thinking 91 because I was working in industry at the time, and I can remember various kind of this is before the days of memes and the internet, and various kind of documents being passed around, kind of what you were required to do because they were going to start conscripting people and the like.
Had to break your leg, but not enough, and just enough to.
Well, it was more like it was more stuff like unfortunately, the British Army doesn't have enough resources, so please go to Blacks or Millets and buy the following before you enlist, because we're going to kind of you're going to have to provide your own kit. Yeah. try and get boiled in the bag rations because they don't need water in the same way that the dehydrated ones do. In the desert, there's not much water, etc., etc. Yeah, I can remember him doing kind of some hunting ones. Surprised Bear Grylls hasn't done some. Maybe he has. I haven't watched that many.
I haven't seen much from him at all, to tell you the truth.
But it's kind of, it is one of those sort of things. What would you do? And particularly in places like London, where is London one of the places with the most CCTV in the world?
Oh man, yeah. I watched a show about that before, and they literally tracked someone that had stole a car all the way across London, and they didn't. He wasn't out of sight of one camera all the way from one side to the other.
It's crazy, isn't
there's
it?
so many cameras there. They showed a picture of one pole and it had about 30 cameras on it. And God knows how many different directions.
You think they get better success rate in kind of solving crimes?
You think so, wouldn't you?
You can't think. Yeah, there's been some. I don't want to drag up specific cases, but I was thinking about that one specific case that actually hit Kent. 18 months ago, 2 years, but it started in London, but then expanded down into Kent, and it's like it took a while. I mean, they got the guy, but I suppose they didn't do it sooner.
Yeah.
I guess there's so many cameras. It's funny. It's like, how do you find a particular one, isn't it? It's like,
I guess it's that thing about they only want the cameras to work when they really want them to work. And it's turn a blind eye. Oh no, the cameras weren't working that day.
I was listening to something talking about deep fake stuff.
Yeah,
that's some crazy technology.
Yes,
and
yes, big time
video and audio stuff, and it's scary in some ways.
Someone was telling me about that the other day. That they put someone's face on something, and it is scary.
Wasn't some political figure was having a conversation, like a video chat with a deep fake?
Yeah,
I didn't realise.
Zelensky. Yeah. There was one with Zelensky.
Yeah,
they could actually take his voice as well, couldn't they?
Yeah,
that's right.
Super interesting, is it, from a technological point of view? But yeah, the implications of it are frightening.
I was actually sent a video, and it was like which is the real photo and which is the fake one and all this kind of stuff. And I can't remember exactly where it was. And they sent me a picture of this certain place covered in snow and all this kind of place, all this kind of stuff. And then there was like, right, that's the fake picture. You know why it's the fake picture? Because this is this state in America, and this place doesn't get snow. And I'm like, wow, it looks so real.
There's a guy, Neil Cross from Tech 3D, and he does a lot of stuff with like 3D visuals and rendering and like engineering software and things. And he did it was a side-by-side comparison of a photograph of an F1 car and then a rendered 3D model of an F1 car. And he basically said which one's the fake. One of them is one that I've put together. It's the same background, and he basically just chopped out the F1 car from the photo and put his render in. And it was just they were both looked like high resolution photos. you couldn't tell which was which.
But it's scary now
Absolutely
because
unreal.
when it comes to court cases, you haven't really got. Someone could easily deep fake something now and say, right, this person did it.
Well, I
And if
think
they've got
there was
video production,
yeah.
and if it's
The
that good,
one I'd been listening to actually mentioned a court case, and it was an audio deepfake, so it's just voice. I mean, it's the same as everything else, isn't it? You've got people now who are producing deepfakes, but you've then got another group of your cybersecurity specialists who are working just as hard to find ways to check to see if something, whether it's a picture, audio, video, it has been deepfaked. And of course, as they get better at skills, the other guys get better at their skills. And of course,
stuff's going to get leaks and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's all a whack-a-mole kind of.
Which is kind of worrying. If you think where we're at now, think where we're going to be in 10 years.
Yeah.
And you think what's available to the public now, then you think what the public's got, then what has the military got, and what's the government got? Because obviously they're probably the 10 years ahead now than what we will be in 10
and where
years.
are the likes of Microsoft, Google,
exactly,
Meta, because they're ahead of them, because they're the people supplying to the government.
Exactly.
It is a bit scary. But then there's the thought that, I mean, actually, in terms of, I wonder how that will affect things like YouTube. Will there be, I mean, to a certain extent, you can do some bits of it now, but will there be kind of channels that will people go, I don't want my face on YouTube. I don't want to be there, but I want a YouTube channel where there is a face. So I'm gonna use a deep fake person, and it's the same deep fake person every week. So that's the person who kind of becomes known, and I'm going to use that rather than just I'm starting out as a channel, and I haven't got the budget to kind of have a host like King of Random. They had a succession of hosts, particularly after sort of Grant passed away. But you can actually sort of start off and go, I mean, people doing. I mean, take something like the Craftsman, who's not deep fake, obviously, but he's got a persona. There's this kind of puppet. But will there be in a few years' time? Okay, right. I'm going to write a script and enter the script into my AI, and my AI produces a person who's going to stand up the front and does the talking. And
it'll definitely be a thing.
Yeah.
You could have that thing like, what was it called? The head from Art Attack.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? You can always get that.
Well, there's a fantastic one on. Do you remember Bitzer? It was on BBC One back in the early to mid 90s.
Not sure. I was probably out drinking then.
It was a maker type show. They do all that kind of stuff, and they had a thing called Hands, and it was sort of done up like an old circus automaton. Where you'd put the coin in, and the head would move, and the hands would just make something. And it was just like that kind of top down view of just seeing this pair of hands making this thing, whatever it was. It was like sort of early YouTube styley.
Nice. I do feel like I missed a lot of decent maker shows when I was a kid because I was just in a world of my own somewhere.
We've mentioned this a few times on Makers Waffle because I think the UK has had a succession of really good maker shows. For at least 40 years.
And we had that one. What was his name? Fred. Is it Fred Dinage? Fred.
Yeah, Fred Dinage. Yeah, and there was How and How To, which
that merged together, didn't they?
Yeah, which merged sort of science and making. Obviously, Blue Peter. For kids. I mean that's been there. Then there was
Bitter Art Attack.
Yeah,
Art Attack.
Yeah.
Mr. Smart. There was one with Mr. Maker. There was one with kind of When my kids were small, there was one with Mr. Maker who kind of, it's a bit like Art Attack, but it was on BBC. And then there was
sure Pat Sharp did one.
Yeah.
It was
did
a Zap.
everything.
They had something on that where it was like done like a comic. Like
I think you're right. Yeah,
I
think you're right. Yeah,
makery on that.
And as Thomas just mentioned in the chat, there was Scrap Heap Challenge.
Scrap Heap Challenge, that was a good one.
It became Junkyard Wars in the States, started over here. But prior to that, there were things like the Great Egg Race, Beat That Einstein. There was another one as well, kind of pre
loads, isn't there?
Those ones.
Yeah.
And it's we've had some fantastic shows. Obviously, there's things like which don't necessarily show all of the making. Things like Robot Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
became that went over to the States. That was another of our TV exports, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then they went to make a Central.
Made a hell of a racket.
They peaked.
Yeah, right the way through our show.
Yeah. And
I'm hoping Nick takes on board people complaining about that and shifts them back outside or wherever they were.
Oh, it was so loud.
You couldn't have conversations.
Fun though.
I was trying to have a conversation with Peter, does the resin stuff. Peter Brown, that's it. And it was like, just clang, clang, clang. It's just, trying to talk
apparently,
to
according to the I think it was the Shadowphone guys told us they were doing all their banging about, and one of the bits of one of the bots came flying over the safety barriers and nearly hit somebody.
Crikey!
So because they were right next to it. So
that would have been. Yeah, I mean, I to be honest, I didn't see all the stands in that area because it was just like, for me, it was just it was very crowded down by it because people were really keen. I didn't even get close. I didn't see any of the bots at all.
I think maybe if you were there watching it live, I think maybe it'd be great. But if you were anywhere else in the hall trying to do something,
Well, I went to try and sort of meet James Bruton because his stand was down there, and Matt Denton, and I spent it. James wasn't there when I went, so I spent some time talking to his partner, and it's just like it was a struggle to have a conversation with her. I just didn't bother talking to Matt. I just kind of after I finished the conversation with her, I just walked away because it was just so noisy. Particularly as I mean, my hearing's shot, and particularly when I'm kind of in noisy environments, it makes it even worse for me.
Yeah, there was a couple of stands I felt sorry for, like a couple of small stands that were like right up against the wall, and I was like, they could have been brought in a bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Men's Shed were just kind of out on a limb. The Ghostbusters guys were kind of out on a limb as well. I kind of thought.
Yeah.
Over at the side.
I think it was Joe Sonia Paints. They were right stuck in a corner somewhere, and I was like, they're actually good people, and kind of felt a bit sorry for them. So
obviously we none of us three.
Well, hopefully
you two were involved in kind of stands and things, but I kind of wonder whether some of the things were kind of like, right, we'll put them there, almost expecting somebody else to be alongside them or something, and then just didn't. But
I think there was obviously a lot of anxiety for who was going to be able to turn up and who wasn't. We're still back end of COVID times, aren't we? So there were a lot of people who didn't turn up in the end who had originally planned to.
It's almost like it's on the rise again, isn't it? Really, that's the
fingers
crossed for next year.
Yeah.
Hopefully it will happen. We was talking to I think her name was Vicky, if I'm not mistaken, who was working with Nick in organising it all. I think she's part of the Mega Central team, and she says she's really going to try and have a word with Nick and try and get it going again.
Yeah.
So,
I think everything I've heard is that it should go ahead next year.
Yeah.
I think it's been kind of
just looking at the amount of people who've been in touch with us over the Make with Makers, I think that's going to be probably half the size of the convention centre anyway, for the amount of people who want to come and do demonstrations.
Nice.
So yeah, it could be a...
I think that's fantastic. Yeah, that
be
particular the Make for Makers, it was so popular. There were people of all ages kind of go, can I do this? Can I have a go at that? Because I mean I wasn't actively involved in the stand, but I know most
loitering
of
a
you
lot
guys so well. I was loitering a lot. Yeah. Gravity clamped in place at times.
Well,
but because as these things happen, I'm a physicist. Gravity gets involved. But it was interesting. It was nice to see people kind of going, I want to go with this, and the kind of.
Yeah.
I can still remember I was chatting to Tamara, and this little girl came out from Soph's making a robot, and she saw Tamara and ran up to Tamara and wanted, completely butted in, which is absolutely fine. It was like,
expected.
She was so excited. She had this huge grin on her face, and she wanted to explain to Tamara everything. And I mean, Tamara is fantastic with the sort of children. I mean, she's fantastic anyway, but was really spot on. Lindsay Murphy was there as well, and kind of was kind of again, and it was just like there was just so much excitement in this little girl because she wanted to explain everything about this robot that she had built and what it had with it. I think it was an artist robot, if I remember rightly, and just that energy from that. If that could be doubled or tripled, it would be amazing. Getting people involved in making, and maybe encouraging them to try other forms of making. Jamie, you're. I enjoyed
We've got some
with the Murrays, dragons, and kind of you're kind of getting them involved in the making community, but also kind of wood turning, particularly after kind of the 28.
Well, kind of spending a lot of their money for them, or assisting them in helping spending their money. They've Susie, their little daughter, was a bit of a big Bobby Duke fan, and that's one of the reasons they went to the first Maker Central. And she's turned a pen with Steve Twidell. On the Make with Makers stand when we were doing it as well, and she was like getting into it, and Richard come over to me, and I bought my pen turning set, my little mini Easy Wood tool pen turning set, and they started talking about how she really wants to get into turning now and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, well, I'll tell you what, give her them tools. I said she hasn't got a lathe yet, but that would make her get a lathe.
Yeah, definitely.
And so all of a sudden, I think they got this little rubbish little lathe and all that kind of stuff. As far as I'm aware, I think they got a little lathe before that. And I was doing a demo with Record Power at Kempton
Tool
Park.
Show. Yeah.
B&M Tool Show. And needless to say, they walked away with a Record Power correlator, all the dust collector, extra hoses, all this kind of stuff, with a bit of a deal on that. And then they ended up getting a brand new shed because I was like, Susie can't work in that little shed. And then there was, I
think they moved house at one point as well. Because
they've moved house. Yeah, they've got a Trend Air Shield Pro for her and all this kind of stuff. And they kind of if they say to me like, "Is this a good deal?" Is this worth getting on? If I say yes or no, his chances are they go and buy it. So they probably can't afford it, but they go and do it anyway because if Susie doesn't use it, either Chris or Emma will use it. But
I think there's not just one of them doing turning in that.
It's all of them. Yeah, it's definitely a family affair. So they all like it. Although Chris is out of commission at the moment, he's a bit poorly.
Yes, he is.
He's good people. All of them are. So
yeah,
it's good fun. I like spending Chris's money. It's good fun. Means I haven't got to spend my own, and it makes us both happy.
Yeah, maybe not his bank manager though. Yeah.
Yeah. Upsets Emma, makes Chris happy.
Yeah. That might be the real reason why he's got a bad neck. Yeah.
It could be strangling him.
I think more clip around the ear. Yeah.
Yeah,
With the lathe. Yeah.
could well be. Oh,
But
dear.
I want to be careful not to kind of overrun because it'd be really easy to do that because I don't want you to miss your premiere because you have
I
been
was
doing
just
those
thinking
for
the same.
several years now. I think you've been kind of doing that. Kind
Yeah.
of premiere. I mean, you were doing it at Makers International. You were doing it kind of after that finished.
Yeah, I think I started through. I didn't. I initially started it. So when I did a scroll saw piece for Bobby Duke, which was a portrait of Bobby. I did 2 of them, and then I flew to Atlanta and gave them to him. And it's kind of funny that story because Bobby was umming and ahhing about going, and I kind of got Nicole as part of the video as well. To be part of the video, so she was kind of helping me, making sure he goes. Because obviously I weren't gonna. It was pointless me taking these 2 pictures to Atlanta if Bobby wasn't going to be there.
Yeah.
So I eventually got there and I gave them to him and all that kind of stuff. And Bobby gave me a shout out, which he didn't need to do, and I think I got like 13,000 views in an hour, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And because I'd never seen anything like that before. But that video, the Bobby Duke video, was the first video I'd done where I was like, now I need to take my channel seriously. So that was the first video where I started paying for all the music that's in my channel and paid for a proper editor. And after that, to be honest, I'd always liked putting out the videos, but as soon as I got a decent editor, I never enjoyed making editing the videos, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So I always liked the making process,
Yeah.
but I never liked the editing process. It was like, oh, got to do this again. So I'd make like 5 or 6 videos and then have to spin another process. Here we go, But now I can. The most I've ever done is I've turned 3 videos and I've edited 2.5 in one day before. So, but I've done. I obviously did the December challenge as well, which I'd put out 31 videos or 30 or 31 videos.
That was
put out a video a day in the course of December.
Yeah.
I actually went to 36 days, if I'm not mistaken, 34 or 36 days in a row. So
that was good going.
Yeah.
I've
If anyone else wants to try that, I don't recommend it. Not if you want to try and get rich out of it. So that's one of the reasons why I
did
did
it. Kind of simple ones. Yeah, like the made for makers, where they kind of do right every day. I'm going to do a video. I'm just going to kind of answer the prompt, but that's different to kind of doing a making video.
Yeah,
I've known a few people who've kind of done 5 days or a week of doing it. And yeah.
So I've got a playlist on my channel of the December challenge. But one of the reasons why I wanted to do it is for the old January sales. I wanted to get a few bits of stuff for the workshop and all that kind of stuff. And evidently what was happening is I was putting out a video on say the Monday, and then I put a video out on the Tuesday. And because they were so close together, that the Tuesday video was killing the momentum of the Monday video. And that was so on and so on and so on and so on. So by the time I put out the Friday video, the Monday video was completely dead. So although the subscribers were fantastic and I got a lot of subscribers from it, views were just horrible. Every now and again I'd get one that would get suggested, but I won't get no more than 3,000 or 4,000 views from it.
So if you were to do something similar again, would you avoid doing a daily one, but maybe do like a?
I would avoid doing a daily. I'd probably do one
three
every
a week.
maybe 3 or 4 days. I'd probably say one every 3 or 4 days. Give that time to give a bit of get a bit of a boost.
Yeah.
Get under YouTube. Give it time to get under YouTube's radar. And I'm guessing that's how it works. Don't quote me on it. I'm guessing here, just like everybody else. Trying to figure out the algorithm. So.
Well, I did. I went to a Google Digital Garage Friday before last, and during the course of that, it was mentioned things like YouTube were mentioned, and somebody sort of talked about trying to create stuff to meet the algorithm, and the kind of the lead person basically said that algorithm don't try and it's an algorithm and it's changing. Just make good content.
Yeah.
Whatever you're going to do, just do a good job of it, and it will come out. But if you try and do something to satisfy the algorithm, you probably will find it might work for a brief period of time, then it's going to change.
So one thing that Jake and I have tried on the Saturday morning cartoons and on our actual videos as well is getting people to put a comment underneath. We started that maybe 3-4 weeks ago, maybe now. Now after every single show, people go and put a comment. It doesn't matter what it is, but people go and put a comment in there. And since we started doing that, the show's been performing a hell of a lot better. We've been getting a lot more views after the show's aired. And all it takes is one comment. So if we get people to after this show, people comment something on YouTube. I don't know, so tell Jamie how good his beard looks. Not me, the other Jamie. Mine's terrible in comparison, right? But tell Jamie how good his beard looks, right? And just write something in the comment section underneath. And then what else people can do is if you see my comment, right, or anybody else's comment, go and like that comment as well.
Yeah,
it's all interaction.
Yeah.
So if you look at our other Saturday morning cartoons episode that's just gone, you'll see some comments have got 8 or 9 likes, where everyone's liking each other's comment as well, and that's helping Saturday morning cartoons grow because there's so much interaction in the chats. It seems YouTube's taking notice. Touch wood.
Yeah, I guess they want essentially any of these providers, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, whatever, they want to keep people on platform. So anything that shows that people are staying on platform or keeping on platform is going to trigger the algorithm, however that might work, and try and feed more of that into what people are watching. Yeah, good tips.
Yeah. So definitely, if you just all it takes is a comment and a like, and you're definitely helping out the channel that you're supporting by watching the video. So, and obviously, as we always say on the cartoons, it doesn't cost anything and it's free.
Yeah, certainly is.
So,
right, we got about less than 10 minutes, I reckon. So, what we normally do towards the end of the kind of episodes is ask people our guests what's been grabbing their attention lately. So, I guess first, what's been grabbing your attention lately, Jamie?
What's been grabbing?
Doesn't matter what
videos.
It is. It could be videos. It could be a book. It could be a TV program you've watched. It could be anything.
So, what's been grabbing my attention? I'm going to actually say the person that made me this, which is Connie is her name, but it's her Instagram is Skulls Inspired. Just so I can get it off here. Get it off here. So she makes resin skulls of different kinds. She does absolutely fantastic work. She actually just put a little Instagram reel up today of making this. She's got a nice little Etsy business going at the moment. But yeah, they're absolutely fantastic. She does a lot of D&D skulls and all that kind of stuff. Necklaces, doorknobs, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. So I've been watching a lot of Connie's videos. To be honest, we call her Carney Canny, you cheeky dill, on the cartoons. So Jake, so another thing about Connie as well actually is every year I put out what I call a community T-shirt, and Connie was actually the recipient of that this year. When Jake actually happened to notice that Connie was working with 2 death traps called pressure pots, and they were soon to explode on her. So we managed to raise enough money on Saturday Morning Cartoons for 2 brand new California Air Tools pressure pots.
Nice.
Yeah, things under pressure are not things you want to be messing with.
Yeah, and we were like, "No, you got them. Throw them other 2 in the trash." So
yeah, vacuum's one thing, but pressure pots, yeah, it's a different story.
Yeah. That's what was it? Joey Stillblade. You got to keep an eye on that dude. Stillblade Woodworks. Keep an eye on him. I reckon he's going to be up and coming now. He's got his CNC done. That dude's making stuff. Presents himself really, really well. He's going places. And I don't just mean Home Depot. And of course, we've got to be watching Jake Thompson.
Yeah.
He's my partner in crime on the old Saturday Morning Cartoons. Yeah. So we do that. We do that every single Saturday. We call it morning because of it's Central Time in the US. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the UK. But we do that every single week. We do a fair amount of giveaways. Some say too much, but we do a lot of giveaways over there. Yeah, we have a lot of fun over there. We've built up a nice little community, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jamie, what's been grabbing your attention?
Well, I've been off in the old Germany.
You have?
Yeah.
I did see that. Name that movie. No, not name that movie. Name the song, wasn't it? Name the album. I was going to say Slippery When Wet, but...
Yeah, a group of us went over to go and annoy Kjell, and we had a lovely time. So it's going to turn into a bit of a thing to roll on next year, basically. But yeah, there were a few that couldn't make it for various reasons and bits of COVID happening and all the usual stuff. But those that did manage to get across were thoroughly hugged. So it was it was really, really good. We did a lot of productive stuff.
Yeah, very jealous on that one. Yeah,
it was good fun. Me and Duncan from Little Hobby Shop went and we did it as a road trip. So we got the overnight ferry across to Netherlands and then drove across the Netherlands into up into north of Germany. So yeah, it was
nice.
It was good fun.
Nice.
So,
I've done that trip a few times. Nice drive.
Me, well, as I mentioned, did a Friday before last, did a Google Digital Garage. It was a live event in my local town. And I would thoroughly recommend it if you get access to it. I've been asking them and trying to find if there's a list of future ones, but I'm getting no response at the moment. But they've also got webinar things. And there's some really good stuff. If you're kind of trying to do promotion, whether you're doing it as a small business or whether as a content creator, there were also some other the workshops they were running on the day were aimed at kind of people maybe looking to advance their careers, talking about things like CVs and interview practices and things like that. I was more focused on the business side of things, so trying to develop my physics and maths tutoring business that I'm kind of working on. Been exam marking, finished my allocated ones yesterday. I'm kind of hoping there's a free pool that should start tomorrow or the day after, where the kind of people who haven't kept up to speed, kind of the ones that are left over, kind of get thrown out for other people to mark. I'm kind of hoping to dig into some of those. So that's been good. Had some positive feedback from my various team leaders about the quality of my marking, which is nice to hear.
Good.
The other one, I caught a video this week. There's a channel I follow called Captain of My Shed. It's a guy who's a pilot. He's a commercial pilot. Mike, something, I don't remember his surname, Mike. But he was on holiday. His father lives in Lanzarote, and he'd been on holiday, and he did a tour of his father's workshop. And I'll post. I haven't posted the link yet, but I'll post the link in there. His father does a mixture of wood and metal stuff. Some nice array of tools, older sort of tools. But what he produces is fantastic. He had a car, kind of a vintage style car made of wood to scale. Absolutely gorgeous. Just amazing craftsmanship. Yeah, and not interesting content creation. It's just yes, his son is. His son's does woodwork and did the Crimson Guitar Challenge last year, doing it this year. But it's just like, whoa, next level kind of craftsmanship. I mean, the car, the only thing not made of wood on this car were the hinges on the trunk that was sitting over the back bumper, in order to kind of enable it to sort of lift. And that was kind of a couple of strips of leather, if I remember rightly. But it was everything. Even it was one of the sort of old-fashioned cars where the kind of, if you lift up the kind of the rear trunk, it actually sort of showed two seats. So it was kind of and that literally up and there were the two seats. Just absolutely next level in terms of craftsmanship. So that's one I would kind of put a record out. Anyway, we're running close on time now. Jamie, if anyone didn't know where to find you, because I'm assuming that probably most people do, and obviously there will be links, but where's the best places for people to kind of hunt down your...
You can find me at two places. You can find me at JP Woodwork across the socials. That's Instagram and the YouTube mainly. And you can also find me on Jake Thompson's YouTube channel on Saturdays on Saturday Morning Cartoons.
Cool.
So obviously on Saturdays at 4 o'clock UK time.
I'll the other links are already there, but I'll add that one on into the link in the morning when I do the show notes and the audio, and we'll do that.
There we go.
It's been great chatting to you. We'll have that on again because I think we can go longer, but we want to respect the fact that you've got your established 11 o'clock sort of premiere, and we don't want you to be late for that. So thank you for stopping Makers International so we could start, and thank you.
Thank you for starting this, taking the pressure off me.
And on that
no worries.
On that note, we'll say goodbye to folks. So
all right,
see you, folks.
Take it easy, everybody.